Hey, everybody. I know I've been a little quiet, but guess what? Today we're going to talk about a topic that many are arguing over. Some coaches even say, don't do this. You hear so many people, and that is called niching down. You have some who are like, yes, niche down. The riches are in the niches. But you have some who are totally against it. So today I actually have an amazing friend. I went back and I look back in the episodes because I'm putting up all of the episodes from past and new on my podcast. And the one thing that came up is I actually have gone live every year with this guy. He is a marketing genius. He uses AI. He helps you scale your business so that you can get those leads. And something that happened is that he noticed my profile when I posted it in the Instagram stories, and he saw, hey, you're niching down. This is good news. And I actually got overwhelmed with emotions because for so long I was so scared. So before we dive into this, because each one of us has a feeling, if you are catching this live or the replay, join us in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in. Also, let us know what are your thoughts about niching down. So, Rod, give a little bit of an intro because I don't think I did enough justice for you.
No, that was pretty spot on. Definitely thank you for having me. Guys who don't know, my name is Rob. Like I said, I'm a automation and marketing specialist, and in layman's terms, I help people make more money and do less work. So, like I said, I've known Shree for a long time now. We've been in part of each other's communities. I've watched her Instagram growth, her LinkedIn growth. So I'm definitely glad she, thought about me to come on and talk to you guys today. So it's definitely an amazing experience.
You know what? Let's get into this because something that I see a lot. So, you know what? Before I say we get into it, let me say hello to Olga. We got Gold here. Thank you for joining us from Nigeria. What's up? And we have Abdul Salam. Abdul Salam, let us know, where are you tuning in? Okay, guys, if you are not friends with somebody, in the comments, definitely make a friend. What's up, Jamal? You know I'm here. Let's get into this. Okay, Jamal, because, before you leave, would love to know, what are your thoughts about niching down? Okay, Rock, why do you feel that niching down is actually really good for you?
Well, DC down was good because you have more experience working with that particular client, right? So instead of, like, let's say you work with chiropractors, they want to see other, hey, do you have any results from other chiropractors you worked with? Well, if you have nothing but gym owners you work with, then it's not going to really translate. So it's a process, right? I always tell people, start off broad until you understand who you're talking to and you actually enjoy the type of client that you're working with. That's when you can really niche down and start getting them better results. And then, as well, your process is easier, right? Because if you're working with one type of client over and over and over again, you don't have to really think about too many brand new concepts, right? It's like you literally can just spit the same thing and get them the results they're looking for.
All right, here's the thing. And you know what? I think that Jamal's on here. A confused market doesn't buy. So niching down is really helpful. And that is true. When we first start out, we think we know who to target. Okay. If you are an entrepreneur or if you're thinking about starting a side hustle, do you even know who you want to target? Drop a heart if you do know. I would love to see who knows, because I know when I started, I had no idea. Okay, like I started a VA business, I didn't know what I was doing. Then in the second business, then it became, okay, who do I want to target? And I thought I wanted to work with everybody. At first, guys, I only wanted to work with men. I didn't want to work with females. But that changed because as my content grew and my content started to evolve, the type of individuals who were coming to work with me also changed too. So if you're new to this game, And if you don't know who you want to work with, what do you do? Like, how do you know who to work with? At what point do you change?
It's a good question. And I think, like I said earlier, that really boils down to the type of people you are working with. Like, cast that wide net at first. That's always going to help you. And then as you start getting those people, like, okay, well, I align better with this type of client. I'm able to get this type of result. Then you just double down on it. And then that's not to say you never go broad again, right? Like, your messaging should always tailor to your niche and your targeting. But, myself, for example, I work with coaches, consultants, and service providers, and the service providers are mainly life insurance agents in the financial market. But I've worked with truckers before and I've gotten them results. I may not advertise it, but if they come into my ecosystem, I'm not going to turn them away. So if you do have those specialty markets that you do have experience in, and like, I don't want to niche out because they're outside of that market, I don't want to lose that particular client, they can still come to you, you can still take them, but you want to focus the majority of your efforts communicating with people who align with you and you have the better affinity towards.
Look, I'm trying to figure out how to even do that. Like, I'm new. I'm not saying that this is me. Personally, I have pivoted into focusing on working with law and medical practices. So yes, it's a shift because I've been targeting entrepreneurs, but now I'm targeting a new niche. So I'm basically starting from zero,
Right.
which is a fear for many, but it becomes that, like, okay, how long did it take you? Personally, it took me, I've been in business for myself for 4 years, but a full-time entrepreneur now a year and a half. So it's taken me a little while. For you, Rock, how long did it take you?
It took a while as well. We started like in 2019, and I don't know if you remember on Instagram, I was talking about like sales and Instagram growth. And then as I'm creating that content, I'm working with people, it just didn't align well with what I wanted to do. So then we started focusing more on email marketing, and then we were getting results with that, but then we niched down even more and we pivoted to more automations. So then in the beginning, I was working with everybody, like anybody who would just pay me out of work. Then once I felt, okay, I really like working with service providers. I do not like working with econ people. It's not my specialty. I like the act of what do you do when you book an appointment, and the rest of the dominoes fall in where they may. So that's kind of what I niche down to. And then within the last year, we just focus, okay, we're really only working with coaches, consultants, and service providers. So it takes time to figure out that niche. It's not something you're going to find overnight. But that's why I'm always going to say, you just got to keep at it until you find that winning ideal client that you like servicing, and then pour into them.
I want to go back to your statement when you talked about when we create content, we're creating content to put value out and to educate. And yes, we are specific on who we want to work with. But at the same time, you can put out content that is speaking to the whole. So I want to ask
Yes.
you, when I am targeting a specific, let's say we are targeting coaches who are mindset coaches, who are high performing, helping others be high performers. So, does every piece of content have to speak to everybody, or does it mean that I just do one?
I think the best answer is kind of, switch it up, because you're always going to need that top of funnel content. That's the content to get everybody interested, right? And as you continue to make content, when you have those really problem specific pieces, like that walkthrough, or those 5 steps to this, or 5 ways you can do that, then that's going to really speak to that type of audience that are looking more toward your services, because now you're speaking to them directly. If you do everything I niche down and super specific, you're gonna throttle you're gonna suppress your growth a little bit, and you may not get as many eyes. So at least from the way that these algorithms work, kind of focus on ingraining a top of funnel type of content style just to get the eyes, just to get the views, and then as they get into your ecosystem, then you can worry about creating that secondary piece of content where it's more niche specific.
So I kind of want to bring up pillars, right? Now that's like,
Mhm.
you think
Yeah.
about your pillars. Within your pillars, you can go all sorts of directions. So maybe for this is just my schedule. If you guys think it's helpful, you can. By the way, if I'm looking down, I'm looking at the comments. So here we go. So for me, Mondays are all about inspiration. So it's going to be inspiration, lessons I've learned in life, lessons I've learned in business. I'm a mom. I have my parents and my dad, and my mom. But then there's the Tuesday, I find that for more of the social media, because we do social media management. So that content gets a little bit more tailored, and I'm speaking to the lawyers and the doctors. Wednesdays, video tips. Thursdays, because I go live, I want to share a live streaming podcasting tip. And then there's the Friday if I didn't post on Wednesday. I would like to know from you guys, do you have some type of strategy that helps you? Because as you can see, even if I'm posting a piece of content that's talking about, let's say the last video I did was talking about, when you're launching, what to keep in mind. It could be an offer, it could be a service, it could be an office. We're in fourth quarter, holiday time. People are looking for that treat themselves type of offers. So that's that video, but it was also targeted to the law firms and the medical practices I'm looking for. So for you, Rock, like when you look at your content, I see stuff on AI, I see stuff on sales, I see stuff on email marketing. You know, why did you decide to go that route?
So I went that route for the content because it made sense from our overall message. When I was talking about email marketing, I was talking about having ways to what? Automatically nurture leads, automatically follow up. In essence, automation and email marketing are in the same wheelhouse. So it made more sense to me to lean further into automation because people need help with just automating emails. They need help automating SMS. They are back end CRM processes. These are things I do already within my business. I just didn't talk about them as much. So we're like, okay, well, let's talk about what's working for me and maybe it will help somebody else. Now we're like, hey, you know what? I need that automatic onboarding process. I need that when I send up when they make this payment, they can automatically schedule a time to talk to me so we can get them onboarded and then get them. And once they sign, they automatically get their actual onboarding materials. All that being done automatically. So then it's like once we started seeing more of them, like, okay, well, people need help automating. Let's just lean into this. And then with AI, it just makes more sense because that's where things are headed anyway. And I've always been a fan of being ahead of the curve in a lot of aspects of technology and systems and software. So it was like, whatever's around the corner, even a lot of it should be somewhat in the same wheelhouse. So it's like if you're doing social media management, right? Something in your main wheelhouse is lead generation because again, you're posting on social media to get leads. It's the same, they're in the same hemisphere. So now you can find a way to integrate those content topics together, and that's all I did on my end.
And I do want to talk about AI because I don't talk about it enough. But if you are on my email list, I do give once a month, I do give and provide tools for AI, because if you're going live, if you're posting content or long videos, you can cut them up. If you cannot afford to work with someone, there are a lot of AI tools. Now, Rock does the same thing, but I have found that many people get it wrong. So I'm actually going to step back and say, I love AI. I respect AI. But if you are a mindset coach, why are you doing everything? Why not hire somebody? So what have you seen since you've been posting all of these AI tools with clients that work with you? Why did they start working with you?
A lot of them start work. A lot of reasons people work with me is because they don't have time to do follow ups themselves. Their team is lacking. They can't afford to hire a team for it, and they just want a way to get information to customers quicker. In my opinion, AI is the perfect way to do this. Rather, you can put an AI chatbot on your website. You can integrate AI responses in your Instagram and Facebook, whatever that may be. You're going to bridge the gap between the time someone has an inquiry until they become a customer. So let's say you're doing everything manual, and let's say somebody texts you, right? You're on a call, you're on a sales call, they can't get to you. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to continue researching someone they can help. Now, let's say you had an AI bot that can respond to text messages that knows your business. Then it can further the conversation with the specific goal of getting them on a call. That's what we set up for our clients every day. And it works because, again, you don't have to hire an appointment setter, which means they go out and they do the bookings for you. And B, you don't miss out on a lot of those clients that have serious inquiries, simply because a lot of clients are, let's face it, they're lazy. They're not going to go to the website, look at the FAQ section. They want a human response that makes more sense to them right there. What better way to tap into that than use AI to generate those answers?
And look, if you want to use AI, nobody's saying it's bad, but understand that AI is set up around certain parameters. You have to actually go in and change it. So if you're using Opus Clip, I love using Opus Clips, but I have to go back and I have to use the branding, font, colors, how it shows up, because you just can't use what's there. Like, I know you could, people say, oh, you could, this is just what you have to do. But I'm actually telling you, you have to go back and do a little bit. Same thing with captions. There is an app called Caption, and it does the same thing. It adds your caption, but you have to sometimes go back and correct the caption. For example, you could say cat and it wrote bat. So there's just some things, nuances that you get. Now, we do have a question. I want to make sure we answer the question. Usam, he says, I have a question. What would be the best way to get the target audience attention as they don't know what I do? So I actually just say, look, I'm actually where you are. And the best that I know to do is just engage. Engage, engage, engage. They may not follow you back. They may not even care about you. They may even skip over your comment for a while. Just keep engaging, keep going, keep putting yourself out there, because you never know who's watching this person that's in your niche, or as I call, neighborhood. So if you're in the neighborhood for mindset coaches, you find the top person, top voice in that particular industry or neighborhood. So on LinkedIn, it could be Brene Brown, but on Instagram, it could be Jay Shetty. That's just an example. You make sure every time they post, you're one of the first few, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of eyes on that account, and eventually somebody's going to reach out. But your job is just to engage with other people that look like your potential account or client, and then eventually they do come. I know Rock is going to add a little bit more, but I'm just saying this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And that's definitely a great way. Also, now let's switch that from the inbound perspective. If you're trying to create content that attacks your target audience and kind of get them into your ecosystem, you've got to, for one, tell them who you are, how you can help. You know, that's number one. Number two, and this is kind of what I want to dispel here. 90% of people who work with me, they never engage on my content. They don't like a post. They don't reply to a post. So don't have the fear that, okay, because my target audience isn't engaging all the time, then I'm not growing and nothing's happening. A ton of time people are looking for, and they won't say anything. Well, literally, I promise you, only a handful of people I've worked with that have actually that engage in my content regularly. So, don't have that expectation. As long as you focus on giving value first, solving your target audience's problems, being visible, being consistent, the right things will fall into place. You might have to increase the volume on some of those things, which means do more. But if you're consistent and don't give up, results will happen.
And I just will piggyback, because we think that we post once a day, or you have to post 15 times a day. Look, people don't see all your content, but if you are engaging, commenting on other creators, providing value, being funny too, don't just say great post or thumbs up, like actually put a meaningful comment. Again, it goes back. You don't know who's watching that person's content because they're not even liking or commenting. Then they start following you. They start paying attention to you. So it's like you have two parts of this equation where it, there's nothing is wrong with just engaging. Like if you engage for a whole week and then the next week you put a post, you'll be surprised what happens. For you, Rock, like have you ever taken a break and then you were just engaging in the background, and when you came back you had all of this, like all of a sudden you just had all of this love and then some inquiries?
Yeah, it happens like that. It's not like if you engage with 5 accounts today, you might not get any activity tomorrow, but by Friday you might get tons of activity. So that's happened to me before plenty of times where I put myself out there and it's more like a delayed reaction. Also, and I just want to drop this tip for anyone that wants to kind of know more in depth of a, let's say you have your target audience and you're looking at specific people. One thing you can do to kind of make sure they fit your target audience is use AI. You want to go to Chat GPT and you want to write down your target audience. And you want to tell Chat GPT, I want you to analyze the following accounts to make sure that they're a great fit for my business and how I can help them. Then you're going to go to LinkedIn. Yes, and then Chat GPT will do this. Then you're going to go to LinkedIn. You're going to hit Control A on your Windows to highlight the entire profile. You're going to copy it and paste it into Chat GPT as a prompt, and it's going to analyze it for you. So you don't even have to think of the brain power of really like, is this person a good fit? And having that mental battle, if you want to reach out, if you don't want to reach out, do they make enough, do they not make enough? You can let the AI assist you in creating that nuance of if they're going to be a good fit or not. So you don't have to always go at it alone. It's amazing what you can do now. You don't want to be fully dependent on AI. Always use your best human judgment, but you don't have to burn as much time anymore going it alone.
You know what? You just gave a fire tip. I'm not even going to continue this conversation because we are just giving too much away. But what I will say and encourage you is connect with Rock. His links are in the comments. I'm also going to put my links to my podcast, which is called Adventure of an Entrepreneur, where Rock's first live with me is going to be there. And then, eventually every other episode that I have will all be there. But for now, you're going to hear some really great, talented individuals. This week, I dropped the episode where I interviewed Constantinos. You know Constantinos.
For sure, yeah.
He's a great friend of ours. And so, again, Rock, how can we connect with you? How can we work with you?
Awesome. Well, first head to leadbreeze.app. You can go ahead and book a call, check out our software. You want to really crank up your business with automation, with AI. We got everything in one wheelhouse for you. Come check us out. You won't be disappointed. You can always find me on Instagram at Rock Your Business. That's Rock UR Business. And check out the content, shoot a DM, whatever you feel like you need to do. Also, you can catch me on LinkedIn, look at some of the stuff we have there. Some of it might be a little outdated because I'm in the process of tweaking my LinkedIn account a little bit to be more current for what we're doing. But like I said, either way, even if you want to chat, I'd love to have you.
There you have it. I dropped the links for both podcasts and to connect with Rock. Don't be afraid. Let him know that you found him here. Also, if you're catching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, make sure to follow us and subscribe because, we need to grow this community. But I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this helpful, share this live with the person because look, that AI prompt is super fire. So until the next live, which will be next week, maybe a pop up, have a great day or evening. Bye, everybody.